the movie hints at having some kind of deeper meaning about the media's tendency to misinform. Put your hat on. But doesn't really flesh that out beyond Carver's party and maybe the suicide scene. Like, it would have been interesting. Like, Carver never started to really use his influence. Like, he could have been planting more stories that were maybe messing up Bond. Like just something, but instead...
But that was the things I liked. I do like the whole, he comes back to find Paris, and then you hear the news.
It is with great sadness that we announce the death of Paris Carver, who has become an international figure since she became the wife of Elliot Carver.
That was cool.
That's the best scene of the movie.
That was something that worked. Yeah, that works.
That is my favorite scene of the movie. But that's just touching on the idea that Carver can mess these people up with his media, right? But nothing ever comes of it because Bond just gets out of the situation. And that's a lot of what happens. A lot of what happens in this movie is, hey, it's going to go this way, and then we just throw it out. Remember back in Live and Let Die, where they jive cab driver takes Bond and they take him to the airport, and he's like, "You going?" No, because he is. He's the jive ass cab driver, and he's like, "Hey Jim, you going skydiving?" And it's like, "Oh wow, how's Bond gonna get out of this situation?" Bond throws a punch and runs away. And then with this, Stamper is gonna take 2 days to slowly take you to pieces, and Bond's like, "No," and he just throws a punch and runs away. It's like,
yeah,
you thought the movie was gonna go in maybe a cool direction, like how is Bond gonna get out of this? Oh, he just throws a punch and grabs a gun and jumps out the window. It's that same level of like, you think every time you think something intelligent might happen, it just turns on another big dumb action scene. And again, part of your brain's like, well, it's kind of cool when they go down the banner, but like, I was kind of looking forward to something smarter there.
To be fair, they do set that up.
An actual torture scene would have been nice, though.
I mean, yeah, an action torture scene would have been nice, but we kind of already, I feel like they were like, well, we already did that when we were at Carver's headquarters where all the old guys are being... That was the thing that I also noted, was that, like, why is like half of Carver's henchmen are all, like, geriatrics? Because they all come out. They're all these old dudes that are just, like, with baseball bats.
Because old people are
they're
usually
old
fall victim to fake news.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, there we go. There we go. Because like even when they're trying to get into Bond's BMW, mind you, again, we haven't even touched about the fact that this movie is a giant commercial for BMW and Avis,
including the motorbike. Yeah.
But then when they're trying to get into the BMW, which Nans, as far as Bond cars, where would you rank the BMW?
I like the gadgets, but the car itself is a lame vehicle.
Exactly.
It's a nice vehicle, but it's like something you would see a dad driving around.
You're like, cool. He's got a BMW.
A 7 Series sedan BMW.
A 750. I had a 7 Series when I was in high school, and it was some beat up piece of junk that I drove around and thought I was James Bond, and obviously I was not. But yes, geriatrics come out and try to get into the car.
I wonder if, when it says select the security level, back in Fear Eyes Only, did he choose 10 out of 10 and that's why the car fucking exploded when they broke a window? Versus with this, it's like the car's a little smarter in that sense. With that scene in general, though, I mean, it goes back to guilty pleasure.
It's a cool scene.
It's fun.
It is fun, I agree.
I am serious. It's like, were remote control cars, were they really big in 97? And so they're like, we got to get remote controls in there. Video games, cell phones.
We had talked about, back a long time ago when we talked about You Only Live Twice. And I had mentioned, like the fact that the rocket in that movie is like, that's the thing we have today is the rockets that like land.
Oh, yeah. Some more Elon technology in this
Which
movie.
is so, yeah, exactly. And then this movie, you have something that cars are now being able to do now with Smart Pack. And I love that commercial.
Smart Pack.
Summon mode.
Detect the car, please. Detect the Volkswagen. Okay, all right, it's correcting itself. Nice. Hey.
Even something as simple as remote start.
Exactly.
Yeah. The guys are like, whoa, how's this car starting? And like, that's just normal now.
That's something normal now. Like people have, like our phones can do crazy things that probably like the Bond phone could not do, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
Bond
control.
obviously plays a lot of video games to be able to just pick up that
Yeah.
cell phone and
He
Mobile
played, you know, he
device
was
games.
playing GoldenEye Rogue, you know, he's playing GoldenEye 64.
Angry Birds.
But it's just cool. Like, I do think that's like the one thing in this movie that I'm like, we kind of have that now. It's kind of cool.